Okay, normally, any lecturer dealing with any subject, first they go with the theory and then they will take you to problems. But first we have done one problem, now we are coming back to theory, because too much of theory you will be confused. Point number one. Point number two, at the end of the day, in the exam they will never ask you theory, no, they will ask you application of theory. So that is the reason what I do is, you should understand the concept and you should be able to solve the problem simultaneously. That is the reason first day, first session, I started with a problem so that some activity will be there. Otherwise, morning 6 o'clock, you wake up, you put your tab in front of your, face and then you sleep on that. That is the reason. So chalo, let us go back to basics and understand some theory. Scope. Every accounting standard will set out some scope. That means what are the inclusions, what are the exclusions, what are the inclusions and what are the exclusions. So in this standard also they are saying the standard shall be applied, the standard does not apply. See the 2 bullet points. Under the scope, first point they said the standard shall apply. Second point, the standard shall not apply. So what is the first point? Shall be applied in accounting for PPE except when another standard requires or permits a different accounting treatment. That means another special standard said treat it like this, then we'll follow the other standard. If no other standard is there specifically for this asset, in general, property, plant and equipment shall be dealt with, shall be accounted for as per this accounting standard. What are the exclusions? PPE classified as held for sale. One beautiful thing is, asset held for sale, there is no specific accounting treatment in accounting standard 10. Accounting standard 10 was silent. Say for example, I have a machine, okay, this is my machine, this is worth 1 crore, imagine. When I am continuing this accounting standard S10 applies. Why? Because as per the accounting standard, what is a property, plant and equipment? What is a fixed asset? A fixed asset is an asset which is held for use. Till I use this in my factory, this is fixed asset. But today I decided I will sell this off. So I have given advertisement in newspaper, property for sale. So now this fixed asset has become fixed asset ready for sale or available for sale, or you are holding it for selling it. So normal accounting standard cannot be applied. You understand why normal accounting standard cannot be applied? Simple. It failed the definition, no? If it complies with the definition, then this standard is applicable. What is the definition? Fixed assets are the assets held for use, not assets held for sale. Now, when I keep this for sale, it lost its identity as a fixed asset. The good news is, in new generation accounting standards, there is a standard for assets held for sale, that is 105. So obviously, when property, plant and equipment which is held for sale has another accounting standard, 16 is not applicable. Then agriculture, Ind AS 41, biological assets relating to agricultural activity other than bearer plant. Now imagine there is some mango farm, mangroves. So you have 10 acres of land. In the 10 acres you have put mango trees. So your intention is, one fine day mangoes will come. That day I will harvest and I will sell it. So here you have to understand 4 things. One is, you have a land is PPE, property, plant and equipment. Then you have mango trees whose life is more than 1 year. Mango tree can live for 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. No, your intention is never to cut the mango tree and sell. So the agricultural produce, mangoes will come when you harvest mangoes, no? That is inventory. That you sell. Mango you sell. Mango tree you will not cut. So mango tree is there, no? That is like machine. So you will not sell the machine. You will produce, some product using the machine and you sell the produce. Same concept here. So the mango tree is our property, plant and equipment. That mango when you harvest, that is your inventory. You understand? So they are saying biological assets other than bearer plant. Bearer plant. What is bearer plant? We'll study. What is biological asset? Biological asset is any living, plant or animal. Biological assets other than bearer plants, this standard will not apply. That means for bearer plant, this standard will apply. For bearer plant means a tree, a plant which bears a fruit for more than 1 year. So, Pawan sir, how will we deal with biological assets? Ind AS 41, agriculture. Separate accounting standard is there for agriculture. I was conducting, one of my friends is conducting audit of one bird sanctuary. Birds and all will be there, no? Can you believe we apply, Ind AS 41 in some of the areas of the audit? Agriculture, biological assets. Then, third one, recognition and measurement of exploration and evaluation assets. What is this? Legal rights for mining. So you have obtained one license from the government and you started extracting, excavation, exploration of oil. This standard is not applicable to you. Even if you remember, accounting standard 10 also said for mining rights and exploration assets, AS 10 is not applicable. So in the old accounting standard system, there is no separate accounting for this. There was a guidance note. But in the new generation accounting standards, there is a separate accounting for this exploration and evaluation assets. That means mining rights. That is 106. So this accounting standard is not applicable. Then mineral rights, mineral reserves such as oil, natural gas, similar non-regenerative resources. This is not applicable. They have separate guidance. They have separate standard. So these four, it is not applicable. Pawan sir, what if I am using a tractor in my mango farm? I am using a tractor. Can I apply accounting standard 10 to that, or should I apply agriculture standard? Are you kidding? Tractor is PPE only, no? So what they are saying, however, this standard applies to property, plant and equipment used to develop BCD. So B is their biological asset, C is their recognition measurement, D is their mineral rights. So in your mining, you have one truck, you have one lorry, that is PPE only. In your mango garden, you have a tractor, that is PPE only. That is what they are saying. Okay, then they are speaking something about investment property that we'll see in Ind AS 40. So basic theory, this standard is applicable to, this standard is not applicable to. That's all. Then definitions. We'll see property, plant and equipment definition. In your notebook, write down. In your notebook, write down. Definition. Under that, PPE, property, plant and equipment, are tangible items. PPE are tangible items. Property, plant and equipment are tangible items. Definition, PPE are, property, plant and equipment are tangible. If it is intangible, beta, you have another accounting standard waiting for you, 38. Don't come here. 16 is only for, Ind AS 16 is only for tangible items. Property, plant and equipment are tangible items. Tangible items, comma, that are held for, three purposes. That are held for use in the production or supply, of goods or services. Two, for rental income, rental to others. You bought an asset, you are giving it on rent. That is your asset only, no? For administrative purposes. for administrative purposes. Second one, expected to be used for more than one period. Expected to be used for more than one period. This is the definition of PPE. Okay, under that, write down question number 1. Question number 1. Question number 1. Under that, write down question number 1. X Limited acquired 5 delivery vans. X Limited acquired 5 delivery vans which are expected to be used. Which are expected to be used in supply of finished goods to customers. X Limited acquired 5 delivery vans which are expected to be used in supply of finished goods to customers. Whether delivery vans constitute items of property, plant and equipment. Delivery vans constitute items of property, plant and equipment. Guys, read this and tell me answer, please. I am waiting for your answer. Tell me fast. What is your answer? Pragati is saying yes, it is PPE. What about others? Everybody saying yes. Yes. Why? Because as per the definition, any asset that is used in the production or supply of goods and services, okay, then it is item of PPE. Another condition it has to satisfy is more than one period. Obviously, when you are purchasing a truck or a delivery van, you'll use it for more than 1 year, no? So yes. Yes. Question number 1. Now question number 2. Question number 2. Y Limited is a pharma company. Y Limited is a pharma company. They have installed pollution control equipment worth rupees 5 crores in one of company's factory. They have installed pollution control equipment worth rupees 5 crores in one of their factories. In one of factories. Is pollution control equipment an item of property, plant and equipment? Is pollution control equipment an item of property, plant and equipment? Guys, tell me the answer, yes or no? I'm getting answers. Sumit is saying yes, Pragati is saying yes. What about others? Yes, 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 yes. Everybody is saying yes. Now try to understand the word administrative purpose. The word administrative purpose includes all these kind of pollution control equipments, marketing, sales, everything comes under administration only. This administration is not like your cost sheet. Pawan sir, in cost sheet administration marketing beta, it is not that one, okay? Administration means in general, if you are using it in the business, you can categorize this. The answer is yes. Okay, then question number 3. Question number 3. Z Limited, write down. Z Limited is engaged in the business of giving diesel generator sets. DG is diesel generator power backups. Z Limited is engaged in the business of giving diesel generator sets. Diesel generator sets on rent to various third parties, to various customers. They have 25 DG sets used in such business. Can DG sets be classified as PPE? This is the question. Answer bolo. Yes. Write down. The answer is yes. Now write down one very important point. Conversion of items of PPE into inventory. Conversion of items of PPE into inventory. Put a star mark. In the above example, if the entity Z Limited is engaged in the business of giving DG on rentals and also sale of new and second hand DG sets. So they'll give diesel generator sets on rental income, and if you want, they will sell also. If you want, they will sell second hand diesel generator sets also. Second hand DG sets. During the year, 10 DG sets which are used for rental income so far. during the year 10 DG sets which are used for rental income so far are classified as inventory and held for sale as second hand DG sets. What is the accounting treatment? Note it as very important model. Very important question. Note it as important question. Tell me what it is. Hello. I am asking you, waiting for your answer. No answer. So I'll write one journal entry here. You tell me whether it is correct journal entry or no. Someone is saying that WDV of the asset will be transferred to inventory account. Correct. So can I pass a journal entry like this? Inventory account debit. Inventory account debit to PPA. Is this correct? Some student is saying no, it is not correct. So can I pass the journal entry inventory account debit to PPE account? One student is saying no. What about others? Can I pass a journal entry inventory account debit to property plant and equipment account? Hello, your response. Unless you participate, how will you understand concepts? So I have got one no, I have got two no's, I have got three no's. No, 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 everywhere. Any response from others? Anyone who says this journal entry is correct? So Sumit, Shreyas and Pragati, you are saying no. Can you tell me what is the correct journal entry then? If I should not pass inventory account debit to PPA, can you tell me what will be the correct journal entry? This journal entry is correct or wrong? Correct. This is correct journal entry. And the amount should be the carrying amount. The amount should be carrying amount of PPE in the books of the company. What is carrying amount? WDV. So whatever the WDV is there, the WDV from your books, you will take it into inventory. That's all. Book entry, inventory account debit to PPE. This is correct answer. Copy this. So are we done? Can we move to next one? One student is asking, sir, in this case, why can't we use another standard which says non-current asset held for sale? Now beta listen. This is no more non-current asset for you. This is current asset for you now. See, I have a building. I want to sell the building is a different situation. When I am putting 25 buildings into business of selling, that will become inventory, no? So here the point is, you have 10 diesel generator sets, till today you are using that as property, plant and equipment. You are using that for rental income. From today you kept the 10 diesel generator sets in your showroom and said these are held for second sale. So that has become your inventory now. It is no more non-current asset. It has become current asset now. That is the reason that standard is not applicable. Inventory standard is applicable. Kushi, you understand the point? You asked why can't we use 105? We cannot use 105 because you are classifying them into inventory for sale. It is not non-current asset held for sale. It has become current asset held for sale. Is that clear, ma? Can we go to next question? Okay, understood. Very good. So write down next question. Very, 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 very important question again. Very important question. One student is asking, then every year on year the value of inventory will change, right? The closing inventory will not be the same as opening inventory. Yeah, obviously it will not be. Yes, correct. Every year on year the value will change. Okay. Now look here. X Limited purchased a machine whose price is rupees 100 lakhs. In consideration, they issued 1 lakh equity shares of rupees 10 each. The market price of each equity share is rupees 80. The market price of each equity share is rupees 80. How the purchase of machine is to be recorded in the books. Tell me the journal entry is to be recorded in the books of account. So one student is asking, then when we transfer the asset into inventory where the value of inventory is more than the market value of the asset, ho sakta hai. Pragati, it is possible. In market, say for example, second hand diesel generator set is say 1 lakh rupees. But in your books, the carrying amount is 1,10,000. You will take 1,10,000 only to inventory. When you sell the asset, profit or loss will be determined. No, when you sell the DG set, profit or loss will be determined. Or if you say, Pawan sir, I am not able to sell the diesel generator set up to 31st March, that is where there with me only, then you will do year-end inventory valuation. Then the adjustment will be charged to P&L as loss. On the date of classification, you will not revalue. On the date of classification, you will take the cost only. Subsequently, either on the date of sale of inventory or on the date of balance sheet when you are valuing inventory, then the loss will be booked. Pragati, you understand, ma? You asked one doubt. Okay, very good. Good. Okay, so what is the journal entry? Someone is saying mission to equity share capital 10 lakhs. Oh, 100 lakhs, dude. What 10 lakhs? Sumit is saying mission account debit to equity. Okay. Okay. So everybody is saying mission account debit to. So tell me one thing. Can I say machine account debit? How much I should write here? Machine account debit, how much I should write here? In the box, tell me how much I should write. 100 lakhs, 100 lakhs. Gokul is saying 80. Ritik is saying 100. Nirmal is saying 80. 100. Nirmal is saying Shreyas, 100. Anjana, Shanmukapriya, Sumvit, everybody is saying 100. Okay. Kushi is saying 80. Okay. Chalo. If I write 100 here, if I write 100 here, correct or wrong, that we'll see later. If I write 100 here, 2 share capital I write, 2 equity share capital. How much? 1 lakh shares into 10 rupees. So 10 lakhs here. 2 security premium. 1 lakh shares into, how much should I write here security premium? Shanmukapriya is saying 70 lakhs. Okay, 1 into 70. So imagine if I write 70 here, the balance is not tallying, the debits and credits are not tallying. So what should I do? What should I do? Tell me. Hello, what should I write with remaining 20 lakhs? Shall I take it to P&L account? To P&L account 20. Some students told this answer also. Sir, recognize profit. I am like, seriously, you are issuing shares, purchasing machine, recognizing P&L. So beta, ye galat hai. This cannot be 100. Ting, ting, ting. This has to be 80. This journal entry is correct. You understand? Now remember the rule. Pass the journal entry and remember the rule. Fair value of, see, in case of a machine purchased, in case of a machine purchased, and consideration paid through a non-monetary asset or a combination of cash plus non-monetary asset. Classic example, for example, exchange of old asset with new asset. For example, exchange of old asset with new asset. Exchange of old asset with new asset. The amount at which the new asset is to be recognized in books is, fill in the blank, dash. The amount at which the new asset is to be recognized in the books is. Read the full sentence, fill in the blank. I am waiting for your answer. In case of a machine purchased and consideration paid through non-monetary asset or a combination of monetary and non-monetary assets. Cash you have given plus exchange of some other asset. The amount at which the new asset is to be recognized in the books is dash. Someone is saying market value of the old asset. Okay, I'll give you one option. 1. Fair value of asset purchased. Fair value of asset purchased. 2. Fair value of asset given. Fair value of asset given plus or minus cash. I have given old asset and I have given 10 rupees, or I have given old asset, I bought new asset and I got 25 rupees. Cash adjustment. Or 3. book value of old asset. Someone is saying fair value of the exchanged asset. So which one is the correct answer? 1 or 2 or 3? I have given 3 options. What is the correct value? Should I take 1 fair value of asset taken, 2 fair value of asset given, 3 book value of asset? Everybody is saying option 2. So this is correct. Fair value of asset given plus cash is correct. If it is not available, if 2 is not available, then 1. If both 1 and 2 are not available, then 3. If 2 is available, first option is we look for fair value of the asset given plus or minus cash. If that is not available, then fair value of the asset purchased. If both 1 and 2 are not available, then we go to 3. But when you read the standard, they say 1 and 2, whichever is clearly evident. What is this? 1 or 2, whichever is clearly evident, whichever is clearly available in the market. So I'll give you 2 examples. Example 1. Example 1. New Maruti car purchased. New Maruti car purchased. Shares of a listed public company. Shares of a listed public company given. Shares of a listed public company given. So what is new Maruti car? New Maruti car value is, say for example, 5 lakhs. Shares of listed public company given, no, it is 4.8 lakhs. Now tell me, what is the journal entry? Journal entry is property, plant and equipment, in bracket Maruti car, debit, to shares in Infosys account. Say for example, you are giving Infosys shares to them. You are possessing Infosys shares. You are giving Infosys shares to them. So what is the fair market value of Maruti car? 5 lakhs. What is the fair market value of this Infosys shares given? 4.8 lakhs. So what should I write here? Should I write 4.8 now in the journal entry or 5? Tell me, should I write 4.8 in the journal entry or 5 lakhs? Fast, fast, fast. Gaurav is saying 5. So I am getting 4.8, 5, 5, 4.8, 5.8, 4, 5, 4.8. The answer is 4.8 correct. First preference to consideration given fair value. First preference to the fair value of the consideration given. You understand? You understand? Next, second example. Example 2. Example 2. Old Maruti car purchased. Value not available. Value not available. Shares of Infosys given, worth 2.5 lakhs. Shares of Infosys given, worth 2.5 lakhs. What is the journal entry? Property, plant and equipment, old Maruti car, 2.5, debit, to investment in shares of Infosys. Investment in shares of Infosys. This is my investment now. Now I am giving it away. Infosys shares 2.5. This is easy. There is no confusion. What if, look at example 3. Example 3. Old Maruti car bought. Old Maruti car bought. Value rupees 2.6 lakhs. Infosys shares given. In consideration, Infosys shares given. How much it is? 2.7 lakhs. Infosys shares given 2.7 lakhs. Okay, but you are not sure about the old car valuation because this valuation is done by one mechanic. There is no valuation certificate. So this is clearly available. This is not clearly available. Valuation of old car is done by one mechanic roadside. Infosys valuation is done by BSc, NSC, no? Like, you know, the market quoted price you have taken. So this is more evident. So you'll write the journal entry, PPE account debit, new old Maruti car account debit to investment in the shares of Infosys. You'll write 2.7 because 2.7 is more clearly evident. Now imagine if, or I'll write another example. Okay, I'll write another example. Old Maruti car bought. Old Maruti car bought shares in XYZ Private Limited company given. You have shares of XYZ Private Limited company. You went to a person who has a Maruti car. You negotiated with him, hey, please give this your Maruti second-hand car to me. I will buy, and in consideration, I will pay you X number of shares in some number of shares in XYZ Private Limited company. He agreed. He agreed. What is the fair value of Maruti car? You don't know. What is the fair value of XYZ Private Limited company shares? You don't know because valuation is not available. Now how will you pass the journal entry? So one situation is old, new, fair value. Old fair value available, new fair value available. Old machine fair value available, new machine fair value available. So take old fair value. This is one situation. In second situation, so here I write, this will take. What is the second situation? My second situation is old fair value not available, new fair value available. Then go ahead with this. Another situation, old fair value not available, new fair value also not available. Then you go with, in this situation, book value of old asset. Book value of old asset. This is how you should write. You understand this? Now write down the principle. In case of exchange of in case of exchange of an old asset for a new asset, In case of exchange of an old asset for a new asset, comma, the new asset shall be recognized in the books at a fair value of old asset given plus or minus cash adjustment. Fair value of old asset given plus or minus cash adjustment, or B, fair value of new asset acquired, taken. A or B, whichever is clearly evident. But always remember, priority should be given to A. Remember to give priority to A. You understand? Then point number 2. This is point number 1. This is point number 1. Now point number 2. In a rare situation where the fair value of asset taken and fair value of asset given, comma, both are not available. Both are not available. In a rare situation where the fair value of asset taken, fair value of asset given, both of them are not available, then the value of new asset, then the value of new asset, the value of new asset is equal to the book value of old asset. Then the value of new asset is equal to book value of old asset. Next very important point 3. In case of exchange of assets, in case of exchange of assets, in case of exchange of assets that lack commercial substance, in case of exchange of assets that lack commercial substance, comma, the new asset should be recorded with the book value of old asset. In case of exchange of assets that lack commercial substance, underline, the new asset should be recorded with the book value of old asset. New asset should be recorded with the book value of old asset. Pawan sir, what is this? Now imagine you and I are friends. Imagine you and I are friends. Okay, I have one Honda City car. I have one Honda City car. Okay, you have one, say, Verna car. Hyundai Verna. I am using my car for 4 years. You are using your car for 5 years. I am using my car for 4 years. You are using your car for 5 years. One fine day we met and I said, hey, wow, your car is looking too good. You said, bore ho gaya yaar. For the last 4 years, I'm using this car. Nice car, but I'm not enjoying it now. Then you drove my car and you said that, hey, Honda car is looking amazing, dude. Then we have got one idea. Chalo, ek kaam karte hai. Take this keys, give your keys. So today I have Honda City. From tomorrow I'll have Hyundai Verna. Imagine we are friends for 6 months, 1 year we use. After that we'll swap the cars again, or we'll register the cars also, and I will be selling the Hyundai Verna in future, not Honda City. So I am owning it. Registration is also done, exchange. Whether we are friends using car, swapping car and using it, or we registered also. So I said, from today this Honda car is yours, registered. You said, from today Pawan, my Hyundai Verna is yours, lelo, registered. Now if I am writing journal entry for this in my books, what will I write? I will write Verna car account debit to Honda City car. So this Honda City car, in my books it is appearing as 5 lakhs. So I'll write the journal entry with 5 lakhs. So new car is recognized, old car is de-recognized. What is the amount passed in the journal entry? Book value of the old asset. When the exchange of assets is not having a commercial substance. Pawan sir, what is the meaning of commercial substance? Future economic benefits or the cash flows will not change. So whether I use Honda City or I use Verna, my value in use will be same, my economic benefits will be same, and my cash flows are not affected. Then we call it transaction having no commercial substance. Remember one thing, simple basic logic. Do not recognize any profit or loss on this transaction. What is the intention? Don't recognize any profit or loss on this transaction. How it is possible? It is possible only when you pass this journal entry. When you pass this journal entry, there is no profit, no loss. Why? Because there is no commercial substance. For namesake, you have to pass a journal entry, but there is no effect on your business. There is no effect on future economic benefits. There is no effect on, your cash flows. Then you write this journal entry. You understand? Important it is. Okay, now another note, very, very important note. Another very, very, very important note. Any situation, I repeat, any situation, it could be in the event of amalgamation, it could be sale of asset, it could be sale of business, it could be exchange, it could be any transaction, any situation. When an asset is sold, any situation when an asset is sold, it could be you are transferor in case of amalgamation. You are transferor in case of amalgamation in the nature of purchase. You are transferor in case of amalgamation in the nature of merger. You are selling the asset. Any situation when you sell the asset, when the asset is sold, the amount that should be credited. So when you sell the asset account will be credited, no? When you sell the asset account will be credited. So what is the amount that should be credited? The amount is always book value. Sometimes students will be confused. Pawan sir, should I take book value or market value or fair value, or which value should I take? Beta, always book value. Always book value. Pawan sir, why? Remember the simple logic. If you are not crediting the asset with book value, ledger account of this asset will not be closed. So my objective is I want to close the ledger account of this asset. Why this asset I sold? So I sold this asset. When I sold this asset, why this asset ledger account is there in my books? That should be closed, no? How can I close the ledger account? Just by reversing the debit. Whatever is appearing in the debit, I will reverse it and I'll put it in the credit. Balance goes to P&L. Profit, P&L. Loss, P&L. So always remember, whenever you sell the asset ledger account should be credited with the book value existing in your book. This is very, 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 very important, because when you exchange an asset in the above example, old asset might have been exchanged at a profit, you need to take that to your P&L account. Imagine book value is 2 lakhs, but it is exchanged at 3 lakhs. When you pass the journal entry, you need to record 1 lakh rupees of profit also. This is very important. Sometimes students will miss this. So remember, any situation when you are selling any asset, that should be credited with the book value only. Balance will go to P&L. Is this clear? So shall we solve one problem on this? In case of exchange, we are taking fair value of asset given. Then how should we recognize the difference between fair value, book value? Profit, ma. Kushi, profit. 2 lakh rupees book value asset, fair value 3 lakhs. I have exchanged it for 3 lakhs. That means I sold the asset at 1 lakh profit, no? Kushi, you understand it? Book value of your old asset is 2 lakhs. You exchanged it at a fair value of 3 lakhs. That means effectively you sold it at 1 lakh profit. That is what I am explaining now. You are buying an asset. When you are buying an asset, fair value of the asset taken is irrelevant. First question you asked is fair value of asset given. See, simple. Imagine one thing. Kushi is selling this mobile to Pawan at 5,000 rupees. Kushi is selling this mobile to Pawan at 5,000 rupees. Pawan bought this at 5,000. Market value 7,000. Kushi sold this mobile to Pawan at 5,000. What is the market value of this one? 7,000. In my books, I'll write the journal entry for 5,000 only, no? Why? I paid 5,000. So, new mobile, I bought this new mobile or second hand mobile account debit 5,000 to cash 5,000. So, fair value of the asset purchased is irrelevant if you know consideration. You got the clarity, ma? Is it clear now? Is it clear? Do you have any doubt still? We'll solve 1, 2. Very good. Good that you understand. I'm glad. So we'll do 1, 2 problems, then you understand it properly. So before we close the day today, we'll do one more problem. Okay, open your textbook, problem number 2. Problem number 2. Look here. Pluto Limited owns land and building which are carried in its balance sheet at an aggregate carrying amount of 10 million. Okay. Pluto Limited owns land and building which are carried in its balance sheet at an aggregate carrying amount of 10 million. The fair value of asset is 15 million. Exchanges the land. The company exchanges the land and building for a private jet. They bought a private jet which has a fair value of 20 million. And the company pays additional 3 million in cash. Show the necessary treatment as per Ind AS 16. This question straight can come in your exam for 2 marks or 3 marks. They might ask you this question for 2 marks. Okay, so take 1 minute of time, read the question again. Can you tell me what is the journal entry you have to pass? Take 1 minute of time. Don't take more time. So I want answer. I want your answer. Old asset. Book value 10 million. Old asset. Fair value 15 million. New asset. Fair value. New asset fair value कितना है? 20 million. New asset fair value 20 million. Cash paid 3 million. Cash paid 3 million. Gokul, just now I told you, any situation asset sold, the asset should be credited with its book value only. Balance should go to P&L. I am shouting like anything. If you pass that journal entry, better you will lose 2 marks. Where is the profit recognition? In your books, land and building is shown at 10 million now. If you show it, if you reverse it at 15 million, don't you think in land and building account credit 5 will appear? What is that credit in land and building account? Ridiculous. Gaurav is saying record private jet at 23 million. Right. Till now what I have explained and what kind of answers you are giving. Private jet 18, cash 3, land and building 15. No one is recognizing the profit on sale of land. 10 million worth book value land, you agreed to sell at 15 million. That means there is a profit. P&L 7 Pragati, how P&L 7 ma? New asset 22, old asset 10. To cash, no. Ritik is saying private jet 18. Sakshi is saying new asset 18, old asset 10, cash 3, P&L 5. We can pass another entry to recognize. No, why you want to write another entry? When you can complete everything in one entry, why you want another entry? Okay, see, look here. Property, plant and equipment, new asset, private jet. Debit. See, in the standard, what we are doing, we are discussing this. Okay, we are discussing that yellow color shade is there, no? That is what I want. How much I need to put there, I don't know. To land and building. Always take book value 10. Why? Because I am selling it, I need to cancel it. In my books, I need to remove it. 2. Profit on sale of land, gain on sale of land. 5 million. How? 10 million book value, you are agreeing at 15 million, no? So 15 million minus 10 million is equal to 5 million. This is profit. 2. Cash you have paid. Right? So cash you have paid, write down the journal entry. Cash you have paid. How much you have paid? 3. So to cash 3. Now tell me, in jet account, how much will appear? So first you have written PPE. PPE. To land and building 10. To P&L 5. To cash 3. So obviously Now jet will be recognized at 18. Jet will be recognized at 18. Now you go back to your notes. What did I tell you? In case of exchange. What did I tell you? In case of exchange, the cost of the new asset to be recorded is the fair value of the old asset plus or minus cash. That is the principle I have explained already. Same thing we are doing in this. So finally, what is the journal entry? The journal entry is, look here, new asset 18 to old asset 10 to cash 3 to profit on sale of old asset 5. So you understand this? All of you, please let me know in the chat box. Do you understand this? If you understand, type yes. Very good. I'm happy that you understand. So you understand the exchange. So what is the summary? Tell me. Summary, tell me. So close your eyes, visualize and try to recap. In case of exchange of an asset, fair value of the old asset given plus or minus cash is the value of new asset. Fair value of the old asset given plus or minus cash is the cost of the new asset. Step 1. Step 2. When you are exchanging the old asset, difference between its fair value and book value will be profit or loss. When you are exchanging old asset, the difference between fair value and book value constitute profit or loss. If fair value of old asset is not available, then you can record from the point of view of fair value of new asset. If both fair value of old asset and fair value of new asset are not available, then you take the book value of the old asset. When the exchange is lacking commercial substance, then record the journal entry with the old asset book value. That is all. So you understand it? Any doubts in this? So with this, we have completed today's session, and shall we start the balance with tomorrow? Balance accounting standard tomorrow. So probably we might be closing down this Ind AS 16 tomorrow, and then we'll go to intangible assets. Okay.